Hello there. So here we are to conclude our presentations. Okay, this is going to be our 5th presentation. And I hope you've managed to get a good idea of what we're going to do during the course. All right? So I'm going to finish presenting you with the information that we had begun in our previous presentation. Okay? So remember, we covered these 2 sentences here. Who knows a man who robbed the bank? All right, we told you what happened there. I hope you remember. She knows that the man is innocent of the crime. Very, very interesting features are going to happen here. She knows that the man, so 2 that's, but one is pronounced differently from the other because they have different functions in the language. So if I say, she knows that the man is innocent of the crime, the curious thing is, innocent of the crime. So the ta disappeared, the va disappeared, and innocent of the crime became the man's innocent of the crime. The man's innocent of the crime. The man is innocent would have been emphatic. All right? So I didn't stress is. So I said, man is innocent of the crime. This thought group here, the man is innocent of the crime, can only be natural if you go over the words this way in general American English. In other dialects, you might go over the words in totally different ways. For example, you might have said totally, instead of totally. In the United States and in general American English, I would say the majority would say totally. Although some people might say totally. Not wrong. I'm not pointing it out as wrong, but I'm pointing it out as wrong for your model. Your model would not go over it as totally. So what's the main message we're giving you? Choose a model. If you choose a model, you'll have to remain faithful to it. In this case, I'm your model. Am I the only one? No, I'm referring you to hundreds of them, maybe thousands of them, millions of them. All you have to do now is be in touch with them. If you visit the country, you're going to notice the way they go over their words. And you're going to go over your words in approximately the same way. If they say approximately, don't say approximately. Because you're focused on the spelling of the word. We're trying to wean you out to create a habit for you not to pay attention to the spelling, but to learn the word, but to learn the word with the stress, and then get the appropriate obscurations. So this is something that is going to happen all the time. And when I say, for example, all the time, I don't say all the time. Listen carefully. All the time is all the time, not all the time. Do you do this all the time with the letter L? Well, depending on the situation, the phonetic environment, the L, which is a strong sound, will eliminate other sounds. For example, the ta is eliminated by u. Okay? All the other people, all the other persons. All the other became all the other instead of all the other. You should notice assimilations. Assimilations are very, very common. Obscuration, very, very common. Slurrings, going lightly over syllables, very common. Syllabic consonants, very common. Syllabication, oh gosh, very common. She wiped it with a clean napkin. She wiped the table with a clean napkin. She wiped it. Wiped it. Wiped it. You syllabicated. You didn't finish wiped. Wiped. Wiped it. You used the final T to create another syllable. So that's syllabication. Wiped it with a clean napkin. Okay? Wiped it with a clean napkin. Napkin. Just use obscuration. Napkin. Not napkin. Napkin. All right? So these are little things that make a lot of difference when you put the words together in a thought group. So the business of a language is not learning just words in isolation. It is learning words in context or in thought groups. That's what we're trying to point out here. Okay? So if you know, a foreign language entails a lot of imitation of the chosen models, you should notice that, for example, models is an ah. Ah. Okay, ah. Not all. Some people might say, oh, models. I say dollar. I say not. I say hot. So you're going to see a lot of people say hot, dollar, model, mob. Okay? Well, this phrase is tricky if you want to read all that is spelled. Please learn the rule. Never produce all the letters spelled. Why? Because that would be incredibly tiresome. The language would become much, much longer. It would take you a terribly longer time than the time you have for the production of your sounds, for the production of your communication. So communication, educated communication, permits a number of tricks, a number of gimmicks, a number of devices, of artifices that permit you to do what? To shorten words, shorten thought groups, pack them together. Packing them together means putting them together in a wise way. What is the wise way? Well, comfortable way. If I'm comfortable, remember, the other person is going to be comfortable. If I understand the other person will understand me if I speak the same way she does, or he does, or they do. So what's the trick? The trick is to remain within the notion of normality that a language has created. If normality is to produce a D instead of a T, produce a D. Normality. If normality is normality, don't say normality. Normality. And listen to yourself. How do you listen to yourself? You're going to record your voice. You're going to be maybe in front of the mirror, and you're going to notice where you place your tongue to produce the vowels. And what you do when you produce a schwa, or what you do when you produce a l or a n. Okay? So this is going to require activity. A lot of activity, as much as is needed. If you have a lot of trouble, more activity. If you don't have so much trouble, you're going to become an expert. You're going to develop the capacity to learn all the probabilities of the language. So you're going to become an expert, then you're going to transmit it to other people. Because learning is, you learn things in order to communicate, but you can also learn things to teach them to other people. Since you're teachers, you're going to have a great advantage knowing all these things. Because your students are going to derive a lot of profit from you. And what kind of profit? Well, the kind of profit of being efficient. Efficient. And to be efficient means get better jobs, get better payments, get better students, get better progress. So learning is producing progress. Education produces progress towards many directions. Okay, yours is going to be in the teaching area, but other people maybe receive a lot of progress in their engineering capacity, in their being physicians, in their being professors at the universities, because they'll communicate with their students with more facility. So this is going to help a lot of people that want to produce intelligible speech, natural speech. So let me go over this, but you might say the sentence, I want to speak like that, but it's not as easy as I thought. It's not as easy as I thought. Look, it's not as easy as I thought. It's not as easy. Not as easy. D. Not as easy as I thought. Not as easy as I thought. When I said not as easy as I thought, I transformed the I into an A. As easy as I thought. And I didn't finish the T. I just went to thought. I didn't say thought. Thought. Oh, this is the tendency. It's not as easy as I thought. What is not as easy as you thought? Seeing the spelling and running away from it, escaping from it. That's what you're going to have to learn. To be weaned out. Weaned out means independent. To be made independent of what is written. So they're teaching those students. Listen, this is tricky. They're teaching those. I develop a na here. It's the only possibility to keep the rhythm. Look, if I don't do it. They're teaching those students. They're teaching those students. It's much more difficult. If I say they're teaching those, a teaching nose, it would be teaching noses. No, you're not going to think it's a nose, but it sounds like a nose. They're teaching those students, and I didn't say students, to gain time, to shorten the word. And I say students, all right, I didn't pronounce the T. You can do it as easy as I can. Again, you have can here and can here. This can is obscure. You can do it. You can do it. I didn't say you can do it. I could have said it. You can do it as easily as I can. Well, I stress the can. You can do it as easily as I can. The spoken media are less conservative on account of speech speed. Now, this is interesting. Speech speed. If I say speech speed, my speed is going to be diminished. So what did I do? Speech speed, speech speed, speech speed. I didn't say speech speed. That would destroy my rhythm. So on account of speech speed, conservative, all schweiz, conservative. On account, I said on account. On account of, I didn't say account of. Tricky too. Speech, speed. This is tricky. You should be a very careful listener to have discovered that you don't say speech. It is spelled there. You don't say speech. You say speech, 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 speed. If I'd known all their gimmicks earlier, my English would have been changed rapidly. Now just think about this. Think about this. If I'd known, if I had known, if I'd known all these, okay, if I'd known all these gimmicks, if I'd known all these gimmicks, when? Earlier. If I'd known all these gimmicks earlier, my English, pronounce the G, my English would have, has, become of, would have been, and I see been, but I pronounce been. Okay, would have been changed rapidly. Look what I did. My English would have changed rapidly. Changed rapidly. Changed rapidly. See? Palatalized. And I didn't say changed rapidly. I said changed rapidly. Changed rapidly. Classroom. Newsroom. There's a sa plus a ra. Palatalized. A lot of people are going to do it. If you don't produce it, you should learn it to be able to understand people who use it. Very common. This year, for example, is very, very common. This year happens. So, would have been changed rapidly. But I believe it's still a nice thing to do to improve it. tricky, but I believe is still don't produce the puffing sound here. Still a nice thing. Well, the feds appears nice thing to do, then prove it. The do, then prove it. Well, I think that does it. Let me try to help you. So let me try to help you from now on. I'm going to try to help you during the process, which is more prolonged. This is only a sample of what we can do for you. I hope we can do a lot. To do what? To transform your English into something very close to native-like. Now, if you really want to join us, what you have to do is to subscribe now, because the price now is at a discount, a 30% discount. Maybe there will be other launchings of the course, but the price will not be the same. So if you want to take advantage of the discount, join us now. I hope you do. Okay? If you find it interesting, and I hope you do. See you next time.